everyone.
Hello,
Welcome.
Thibault.
Hi, my darling Raya. How are you?
I'm good. I'm really excited today.
Welcome to the first episode of
The Hotcasts. Here we go.
We've been talking about this project for a while now.
Yeah.
I'm super happy we're making it happen. I'm super happy to make it with you, man.
Yes. I feel really, really fulfilled.
Do you remember first time I called you for coffee? Like you were so busy, and I was like, I need to talk to this girl because I have this idea in my mind. Like, you know, I was getting so pissed off about not being able to get, you know, my message across about all the things I wanted to tell and to talk about the people and the designer that I meet, and never being able to see them because actually when you listen to most of the fashion reviews now, it's always super blunt and empty, right?
Yeah, they just stay into safety because they don't want to disturb. But the thing is, like, we need to talk about having deeper conversation to change the way people think and the way people enjoy their daily basis. Like, they need to enjoy their life. So for that, we need to open more conversation so they feel great.
But also, you know, in addition to this, and I think, you know, what you're talking about in terms of like feeling good about yourself and understanding how the industry works from the inside is also, you know, from a business perspective, like when I work with the client and I really want to, you know, I started working as a stylist because I was working in events, I was working for a magazine, and I got very tired by the superficiality of it all. Mm-hmm. And when I started working in the store, initially it was because I had no money and I was super broke. Yeah. And like a lot of people. And
we gotta start somewhere.
Exactly.
Sure.
But then, you know, when I started to realize the impact that my work was having on those customers, because a lot of those ladies who had the money to purchase, you know, a lot, like very expensive clothes, you know, they have beautiful life. But
you have to sell an experience and they need to remember you as a memory.
But also, you know, it's about, you know, the designs, you know, kind of making them feel stand for themselves.
Of course, because the design don't talk for themselves sometimes today. Nowadays, yes, you need to basically sell an experience, as I say, and like this piece of fabrics need to be memorable for them. And sometimes they need to attach memories to the dress that they just buy.
But how do you take it as like when you model, like how do you make this happen for yourself?
I always embody a character that will be something that comes from my imagination. So it means that it's attached to me. And even if the designers have his own vision on what he wants to bring to life, I always add my contribution with my mind and imagination to make it my own experience also. And it's a sharing process that will allow him and me to get to love each other. Or not. But that's also the, you know.
But you know, that's the beauty of it. And it's exactly what I'm trying to say to you as well from my perspective is like, I want to open, I always say I'm a door opener. Like I don't like to force people to buy something or to go somewhere, but I'm always kind of like, listen, I will open the door to you and then would you connect with this or not? That's your choice. But I feel it's important, especially nowadays, would that be in terms of marketing or production, that you give visibility to everyone and feel good about yourself, but also business-wise, you know, for customers as well, to kind of open their minds to new designers, to new brands, not staying always under the same safe space, because then it becomes so bland.
I would love the customers to be able to actually meet the people that are working in an atelier and like, you know, having access also to the magic of it. And the backstage are so much more powerful than actually the final project that just happened to be on the runway. Because there's so many people that work so hard on every small detail of each pieces that will make you fall in love with the actual concept of the brand.
But you know, like it's exactly the reason why since I started working for myself, like I started like about a year and a half ago. And you know, before I worked for a lot of e-commerce platforms, like My Teresa, I worked for Luisa Viroma, I worked for 24 de Bon Marché. And I was getting this very high, what we called VIC, so very important clients or high spending customer, you met some of them.
Yeah, I love that. They're fabulous.
They love you.
Of course they love me.
They always like,
they love beautiful things.
They always meet you at Jean-Paul Gaultier, which is like, you know, they're like, oh my God, where's Raya?
You know, like when I dreamed about fashion, I also dreamed about them because, you know, in all these videos of the, you know, the 80s and the 70s, there were these really fabulous women front row with their chihuahua and their dogs looking fantastic and being over the top all the time. And that's also the reason why I dreamed about fashion. And they are part of history, and I would love to see them more often front row. Because you told me once that actually sometimes, you know, just they fashion love to keep them a bit to hide them.
It's a difficult thing, but it's kind of evolving now. Yes. Like I think especially with the state of the industry at the moment, like I think a lot of brands are starting to understand a little bit more, you know, the importance of putting back this customer in the middle of the conversation, because at the end of the day, the high spending customer are making this business work. Because the thing is, like, we're just relying so much on the business based on handbags and cosmetic for so long that the ready-to-wear, the clothes themselves were not important anymore, you know?
Yeah, and also about influencer and, you know, all the social media thing, there is no life sometime in it. It's all about visuals and fast and quick thing that actually have no life to it. And I feel like those girls at least really enjoy to wear those clothes and dream to wear them, when sometimes like they buy this experience, they want it.
Well, I mean, the thing is, like, that's the point nowadays, is I feel like that's where a lot of business, you know, are not understanding the importance of developing a real experience around their brand, their business, because a customer can go anywhere nowadays, but like what they will buy is something that money cannot buy. Yeah. But I mean, you know, talking back about what you were saying about the influencer, when you moved, because how old were you when you moved to Paris?
I love that you say money can buy it, like Annie Lennox. My favorite song ever.
But that's so true. Thank you, Annie Lennox, by the way, because this quote is very important.
It is. And what did you say just before?
No, I was just like, I wanted to go back to, you know, this influencer world, because you were when you moved to Paris as a makeup, like as a hairstylist?
Yeah, I basically moved to Paris when I was 16 and a half, and I went to a hairdressing school. I stopped school really early because, you know, it was like complicated for me to be accepted at school. So I straight away understand that in hairdressing I could find a community there, because I come from a small island next to Madagascar that called La Réunion. It's a tiny, tiny island in the middle of the Indian Ocean, and there's no sense of, there were in the past, no representation and no one like me there. And I needed to travel the world to actually find people like me. And that's what I did when I was 16 and a half. And at 17, I was like, I work in a hair salon in Rue Sebastopol, really close to here actually. And I was hanging out a lot. I was going to party.
But did you started as a model, or because you were kind of an influencer at some point, like?
You know, you gotta do what you gotta do sometimes to live your life. That's what I want to say.
She's been hustling.
You know, there's many business inside a business, and you need to understand that at one point, because either you get eaten by the business, either you eat it. And you need to find a balance to always be, you know, respected and do thing that is actually really connected to your values and what you like to do. And I always try, I'm doing this sometime, sometimes it's nice also to promote some brands and products that you actually love, and I feel like, but I always do it with my heart.
But that's true, because the sense of honesty, and I think, you know, this is the conversation we were having when we wanted to build this project, and that's why we came up, I mean, you came up with the name actually, the Hotcasts.
Yeah, I think that's
because my idea was we are outcasts because I felt like, I mean, that I still feel like an outcast of this industry.
We are out, but we hot.
Yeah,
oh,
we are
really
hot. We are out. Oh my
hot.
God, guys, like this is like completely like the problem was like, sorry, the people that are listening, you know, if you're having trouble, you can also see us on YouTube. It can be a little bit more of a different experience because we are also, by the way, wearing fantastic fashion.
Yeah.
Because it is a sensorial experience, guys. This is fashion.
You have to feel it. Can you smell it right now? Can you smell myself right now? I smell good, right?
Oh my God, that smells fantastic. But I mean, like, you know, this is the thing, is like, we really felt like we're probably not the only people that feels like this. Like, it's like we've been working in this business for many years. I mean, for me, it's like 15, actually, it's 16 this year. And you know, you never really feel like you fit in, or someone is going to always make you. Someone is always going to make you feel like you're not part of this. So it's kind of constantly this search of like recognition, which I think a lot of people working in creative business have.
There is definitely something like that, but it's for that we open more conversation because we want that more people feel connected to words that needs to be, you know, we need to open more conversation about all of this, so people feel connected with what
and give them the credit,
their own feelings,
and give them the credit.
It's okay, and it's all right, and we all feel like kind of outsiders and not enough and replaceable, and it's a tough industry, and we definitely need to be more connected to feelings, to actually, and to life, to make it more interesting.
But I also think that it's all about creating this safe space for people. And I mean, like, to me, you know, what I really felt is that the goal of this project to me was to recreate those conversations I have with you or some of my friends who are in the business. And when they tell me, oh my God, it's so nice that I can finally talk to someone that understands me.
Yeah.
Because like, it's just kind of like all week you go through all this drama, and when you talk to your family, your cousin, they're like, what the hell? And so guys, the Hotcasts are all for you. Like this is our safe space to celebrate everyone, but also for you guys to be able to listen to us bitching and ranting about people.
I think it's all about that. I think it's so funny when you go back to your place, like your family, and you start talking about your experience in fashion, and they just don't understand anything. Like, you just talk to a wall. Like, they just don't get it, and that's fine.
I mean, my parents,
and thank God, because they make you realize that your life is not, you know. It's okay. I mean, we can go back to the ground.
Try to explain to a fisherman from Brittany that you do personal shopping. That's quite interesting. I mean, like, it's like I'm always trying to compare it to, like, you know, like, well, you see, like, there's some different quality of oyster when I'm the one choosing the oyster for my clients.
I mean, like, try to explain that I do hair flip and pump my stilettos like out of a runway, and just try to make them understand that. And yes, I make that for a living, and people are respecting that, and I'm good. So yes.
And talking about stilettos, should we talk about, especially for the one that are listeners, like about this beautiful fashion we're wearing, because we are having a Sonny and Cher moment.
We do.
Like, definitely. I mean, this is full on. And by the way, thank you so much for celebrating Cher, your sister, by the way. That's what you told me.
She told me that we were sisters.
When did you meet her, by the way?
I met her because I really wanted to meet her. And my boyfriend was working for a press thing where she was basically performing for an event in her hotel room. So this was really a tiny event. There were like 30 people in her hotel room. And basically, he told me, like, do you want to be my assistant? So, because my boyfriend is a photographer. And I was like, yes, sure. And I arrived wearing full Lanvin and high heels, like, and I was wearing like Louboutins and Lanvin, and I was looking maybe too fab to be an assistant. So people never believed me when I was saying, like, I'm his assistant. And I was trying to be like, I'm really his assistant. And actually, at one point, she just comes to me because she just was backstage the full time. And then she comes to me. I was the first person that actually she saw in the room, of course. And then like she comes to me and she grabbed my hands and she said to me, oh my God, we are sisters. And I was like...
No, you're my mother, bitch.
That was also it. I was so happy, and at the same time, I was like, maybe she don't like, that people call her mother. And so she can be my sister if she wants. That's fine. I love her.
No, she can be my cousin. I mean, I wouldn't care.
She can be everything she wants, and I would be happy.
I mean, I'm listening. I started to read basically like the first part of her book. She just released this memoir. And literally, when the package arrived in my house, I felt like the third testament of the Bible just got delivered. Because to me, like the strength that this woman is, holding, and that's also part of why I think what you and we both represent in terms of the creative industry. My job is really more about selling products and marketing, and it's selling it, but in a different way because you're wearing them, you're doing campaigns and stuff.
I feel she got just the most beautiful soul ever, and I feel like I connect to her a lot because every time I hear an interview from her, her life was not easy, and she gets successful. And she have the recognition of what she were doing quite late compared to the hard work that she's been putting on for so many years. And she always talked about that. And that's true. It's like at the end of the day, you don't need to... How much do you want? Do you want to be the most successful girl of the world, or you want to be like working with people you love and doing what you're passionate about and being successful, but in your own way, maybe not to the eyes of the entire world, but to the eyes of your family and your lovers and yourself. Yeah. And I felt like even if she became like this amazing superstar, she always been connected, and she always tried to do things with people that were surrounding her and people that she can trust. And sometimes, of course, she went deceived by those people, but she kept on going until she became the legend that we all know.
But anyway, Raya, let's describe this beautiful fashion we're wearing today for the people that are listening to us. Poor people listening to us in your little earrings on podcast. If you're walking your dog, I would understand that, but I would strongly recommend you to check our YouTube channel because there's something to see. There's something to see because we said this is fashion. This is a podcast about the industry, so we need to make it visible as well visually.
Loud.
The fashion. But let's describe this beautiful ensemble, isn't it?
It's so beautiful.
I mean, we're giving a little bit of tweed, we give it a little bit of sparkle.
I'm obsessed with Georges.
This is from Hobeikha. It's his full collection. So for the ones that don't know Hobeikha, it's actually one of the biggest Lebanese designer. There's not only Elisab. Do you actually know what he's known for?
No.
So basically, it's super interesting. So basically, there's two things that the Hobeikha brand was known for a very long time and appreciated and celebrated by clients, is his sense of colors. He's always using very strong colors in his collection, and also he's always using 100% glass beads.
I love.
And basically, when you look at the couture, they're always very heavy and they make a very specific noise. And when you work with couture clients, like I do, they will go for Elisab because Elisab is really good at very fine embroideries. But if you look closer at the Hobeikha collection, that's why you're going to see the difference. He's using these very heavy glass beads.
They're catching, to my eyes, catch the light very well.
Absolutely.
They're just the best.
But it's like, and then recently, I think it's like been 4 or 5 seasons ago, he's gradually started to work with his son, Jad, who is a friend of ours. Jad, by the way.
It's a family business.
And a lot of Lebanese family works like this, but like Jad is very young and has been gradually taking over the creative direction. And Raya and we both love him very much, and we feel like there's a sense, I think he's getting into the sense of maturity. This is the fall collection for ready to wear. And most of the ready-to-wear is available made to order. So I think a lot of brands are doing that now. If you look into even websites of designer, I mean, I don't know if you know Jordan Luca.
Of course. I love that.
Do you know I started the brand?
They're so fun.
But you know I started the brand with
Really?
them? They're super good friends of mine.
Like
We were part of a collective called Sing the Pink in London when I was a fashion student. And we were just like dressing up and just being little cons around, East London.
They're actually both pretty sexy.
Yeah,
I have to say.
I have to say. Well, I mean, like for me, I just see them more like sister or cousin. I mean, I've seen them in such different stage that I wouldn't see the sexiness anymore. Sorry, Luca.
I want to hang out with them.
No, you should, because that's the best time. But I mean, like, this is the thing is like, they're not couture designer. They do ready to wear, but even most of the expensive pieces and dresses, if you go on the website, they are like available made to order, because something that people don't understand anymore, and I think especially after COVID, is producing clothes is becoming so expensive. Yeah. And so basically, that's George Hobeikha. It's fall winter, but you can order it even after. It's mostly made to order, but you can choose the colors. And also another thing is we decided to match our fashion to a beautiful place, because we're fashion people. How dare would we be in a little office recording our little podcast? We are in the house of Alexandre. Thank you, Alexandre, by the way, for hosting us today.
I really love your couch, Alexandre. I feel really great.
Yeah, follow us, because every episode we will take you to a different secret location. Yeah. Would it be Paris, New York, London, Milan, Timbuktu? Why not?
Why not? Let's go.
I mean, if we pay the trip, I will go there. But by the way,
I will go to Tokyo.
Tokyo.
Please.
But honey, if it's 6 hours or more, I want business class.
We can talk about that.
Well, but this we talk it later.
No.
Keep it for yourself.
Yeah?
Because remember, the cook girl is coming later. The cook girl is staying later. I know you're fuming about something, but we will talk later about it. First of all, I want to go back into the subject of this first episode, which is this first episode we just decided because you guys, when you're going to listen to this, we're January. The spring-summer collection are going to hit the store very soon, and I thought it would be interesting for us to exchange a little bit of our experience of our fashion month last September and October.
So my boob's trying to escape, as
no,
always.
It's fine. I mean, like, is she feeling afraid? Do you feel safe? Do you feel safe? You're in a safe space, my darling.
Don't worry.
Sorry, I'm just trying to feel a boob safe.
Yeah.
So anyway, how did it go for you, spring-summer 25?
Amazing, because I did less shows, but that's something I really decided. I decided to focus because like Fashion Week season and castings, and really it's a lot of energy, feelings, because you never know what's gonna happen, everything can change last minute, and emotionally it's really intense. So I decided to work harder on campaign, to actually get this campaign, than hustling for shows, because it's too much energy and it's too much egos and everything, and it's not enough organic sometimes, I would say. So I decided to focus on the on campaign, and I was really happy because I have my camper campaign that was so fantastic. That have been shot by Jordan Hemingway in London.
Congratulations, by the way, because you looked fantastic.
I loved it. Yeah, I felt really sexy. And I shoot also the Karl Lagerfeld campaign, global campaign. Really happy about this experience too. I had the best time with the team and actually discover some amazing people that was working at Karl Lagerfeld. And
did it change recently, a lot of people inside? Because I feel like when Karl passed away, and it was sold to a company, I forgot the name, it's an Asian company, I think, like it kind of like fell a little bit, and then I've recently kind of went back into what they design, what they do, and like it feels like it feels like it's getting a fresh eye. I don't know, like maybe.
They are really more open about conversation, and they wanted to change the image of the house. And I felt really, really lucky to be kind of the first person that they want to, to embody the new era of the brand to something more timeless, maybe, and more representative of, diversity and modernity, and they really wanted it.
And it's interesting because I know you and I, we kind of talked about it already in the past, but like there's something, I mean, it's you and I, we both agreed, like, it's great that we get more diversity in a sense, but like it doesn't really feel authentic most of the time.
No, it is not, because it's still a business, and I feel that some people will actually play that game of diversity to make themselves feel good when they're actually not really into it. It's just, as I say, to make themselves look really good. And I feel that's dangerous because there's no the reality is kind of fake. And but I would say that we are taking more and more space, and we are actually good.
But I think, that's the
what
thing.
we do.
No, but like, darling, it's so important what you're saying, because I think that more than anything else, it's about being good at what you do. Yeah. It's not like you shouldn't want to work with someone, and it shouldn't be like, well, I'm going to work with these girls because she's of these origins. Like, it's obviously something, like, I think people are putting rules in place because some people need to be recalled to reality and represent, and some people need that, sadly, to be able to give representation to their shows or their campaign. But like, to me, and I mean, I'm saying this with total honesty, but I think it's because I've been very lucky to travel around the world. Like, I'm a soul person. Like, for me, like, I sense the soul of a person before actually
I feel
physically connecting with this person.
The creative of the industry really wants it. It just is a business on top of the creative people.
I know,
the creative people have a beautiful soul, but they just end up being sucked into a system that they didn't really dream about. Because I didn't dream of the fashion I live in today and I experienced. I dreamed of the fashion of the 80s and 90s, where everything was about opulence and fun, and designers was like having the freedom of being creative, and they were working with their family. They had their own muse that they were actually meeting in the nightclubs and having a good time with them, feeling inspired by life and people that was making the industry real. And of course, they were on top of this a business that was not really taking over the way it take over now. And I feel the creative are getting lost into this business because they don't really have the time to experience and live and feel the power of life. And the clothes and the creation looks like that. It looks like their own life.
But like, it's super interesting what you're saying, because I can see it from my perspective, business-wise. Like, it's always something that I've been kind of like fighting with. Working for very big companies, retailers, or like department store, like in Harrods, or, working for brands in LVMH. Like, when you work on the sales team or you work on the business side, there's this sense of like, yeah, we want you to have personality, but not too much. Like, you have to fit the thing, because we feel like delivering an experience is like, forgetting, like, people with too much charisma are scaring them. Like, a booking model, who's representing something too strong, they're going to be worried to lose some share. I mean, like, some share of the market. Like, the thing is, like I did told you, like, I think it was 2 seasons back, Valentino used, I think, a guy wearing a girl, in one of his couture campaign. And I personally had a lot of like clients who
I felt we could find a balance in all of this.
Well, I mean, this is my point.
Yeah, of course. And that's actually
But it's
right.
also my point is like I do believe like
absolutely
think
right.
about the work that Galliano has done. Think about the work that Gareth Pugh did at his time, or like or Alexander McQueen. I mean, like those people didn't please the crowd. They did what they felt, and even though at the beginning it was hard for certain customer, at the end of the day, they made things evolve because the fashion was so good.
Because you know what? They were also really well. I mean, they were probably surrounded also by people that they actually love and walked closely to them.
But I think also it's because they were getting less pressure from like...
Also feeling really alone, but still walking with people that you love, of course, will give you inspiration because they are the people that drive your life into the next level each time. They listen to you, they talk to you, they give you joy. And in plus of that, they inspire you and you can exist without them on your own world and create this world that will be for everybody.
Yeah, but I think it's also really hard. And I think, I'm really meaning it. Like, for instance, I think for young designers nowadays to exist or to be able to be given the freedom to take over a fashion brand. Like I'm wearing actually a really top that I love. It's by Etro, and it's actually one of the latest collection of Marco de Vincenzo. So Marco de Vincenzo is Sicilian. He's super, super cool. And I think people should look twice should go back into Etro store to see what he's doing.
I love what he's doing.
No, but it's super interesting because this guy, he's not giving the credit that I think he deserves because can you imagine how hard it must be to get into a beautiful luxury house, but it's like literally the basic, like the concept of the house is to use print from the 70s that you would see in your grandmother's house, and you have to make it cool and young. How hard this must be. And then in addition to that, you get the wholesale director, the retail director, who are telling you, my customer are like these people, you can't do this, you can't do that. And then he's still trying to find the right balance.
Yeah, and Italian can be really tough. So also the Italian market is really tough. I personally love his work because I feel he's really poetical and everything makes sense in terms of the colors and the printed and the bags and the storytelling is just always so good and it's opulent and it's really rich. And I love that.
But that's the thing, and it's very interesting, because we talk about a lot right now about quiet luxury. And I always say to people, guys,
it's not for you. That's
not
for you, my
that
baby.
Could be. But to me, quiet luxury, the notion of quiet luxury doesn't mean it should be boring luxury. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just kind of it's not because something is quiet in some way. I would think about Peter Mullier with Raya. It's quite luxury.
I don't want to be quiet every day.
First of all. And secondly, there's a way of doing quiet. It still should be rich in terms of design. You see what I mean? And I feel like, what I took from this fashion week that I've done, because it's interesting what you're saying, but you decided to do less shows. I personally decided to do the less, a little bit the same way, because one of my biggest kind of business at the moment when I launched myself as an independent is my connection to brands and my capacity to bring clients to fashion shows. And I do a lot of my business like this, but then it becomes crazy. No, but it became crazy because people are they're sending me the schedule of Fashion Week and they're sending me 10 shows a day. And I'm like, girl, do you know what it means to go to 10 shows a day? Because the clients, they don't realize, they just want to be everywhere. And first of all, and also I made because this is the way I do not take a client to a show if she doesn't really like the brands and is willing to spend money there. Yeah. Because she's taking the space of someone that could actually be a real customer. And those brands, when I sign contract with them, they have expectation about what I'm going to provide. And this is the thing, look, in the media, there's no space for real journalists or real celebrities because the influencers are taking the whole space.
And you know what? For each of the person that work in this industry, they at one point need to be connected to their own soul. They need to feel things, and otherwise they're just sad. And it cannot be a collective sadness. We don't want this. I was thinking about For example, I also took a break about shows. Doesn't mean I'm not doing any shows, but it means I'm doing less, and I'm expecting more quality than quantity, and so I prefer
I think quality than quantity.
Quantity,
Okay,
the quantity.
Can you define?
It's being a big cunt, but
Okay.
the
Petite.
opulence. A little titty,
Le quantity?
like that. The quantities.
This is our French coming into it. Sorry, guys, who are listening to us.
Sorry, it's really silly.
We will put it into AI. We will put it into AI.
We'll see what AI think about that.
But yeah, no, but like,
and
you're right.
I was saying about, I really wanted to talk about doing less, but also like, I'm doing a lot of acting at the moment and working in the, making movies, and I need to be connected to my soul and emotions. And it just up and down of like emotions that I really appreciate to feel. And I just realized that in fashion, I cannot just be the thing of someone or just the fantasy of someone and a global, phenomenal fantasy. I want to connect to my soul to be able to deliver.
What are the latest designers you work with that you would recommend or really mark you?
Oh. I would say that I work with Grace Ling in New York, and I love her so much. She's been working with so many beautiful people, and my manager Trey Kosh also have been doing the casting for her last shows, and she's an angel. And I love everything she does. I love the representation that you want to bring on the table.
I really like the show as well. I think she's really someone to watch. People should really look at the work.
Yeah, because even on her commercial pieces, they have so much personality and the quality is really amazing. And they really care. They really care about their people.
I mean, for me, like, I would definitely say that in Milan, like, the show of Etro had such an energy. Like, they always show it in the same space, which is this big space behind Principe di Savoia. And
so beautiful.
And the concept of the show of Etro is there's always like a pillar, and then they work on it. The set was incredible. And Marco chose this girl from Sardinia called Daniela Pes. She's like this conceptual indie DJ/singer. And she went into a live performance. Amazing. And it was like feminist. It was on. The girl was on fire. And I was like, oh my God. And then you had the models working with all this crazy print in mesh and velvet, all mixed up. But like with this girl singing and DJing at the same time. And that's when I was like, okay, no, I get it. This is the Chloe, but like Italian version of like this strong feminine girl who is owning an individuality and taking, the print from the 70s, which is, by the way, a revolutionary period in the history of modern culture. And I was like, this guy should get more credit into what he does. And then a show that I cried at is basically the homage of Fausto Puglisi for Roberto Cavalli. Sorry, I'm getting emotional because it was really emotional because, I mean, I really love Fausto because I've worked with him. He's one of the first designers I worked with for couture. The first two designers I worked with was Stéphane Roland.
You're gonna make me cry, baby.
Sorry, it's just because for me it's so important because I know how these guys feel, and for me, with my work I'm trying to have an impact into what I do into the business because I bring money. So I try to bring money, but also enlighten my clients, but also, I'm emotional because Roberto Cavalli to me was someone, I remember when I was 14, you told me about this as well. For me, he was showing this independent woman, independent guy who were not afraid to look sexually borderline, tacky, but still so bloody cool, and you want to dance rock and roll. And the show was amazing because my friend Eva, who is Roberto's wife, was there, and the girl walked the runway at the end, with some archive pieces. It's crazy.
The last show was insane. All the girls was there, and
let me tell you guys,
it was a vortex.
And I mean, do you remember when I introduced you to Fausto Puglisi in Cannes?
Yeah, I remember that.
He was did he fell off his chair at some point or something?
He was sitting down,
Yeah, I
and
mean,
then
you
you
were
stand
touch-
up and you realize that nothing's changed because I'm so tall that like
She was
I'm a
touching the
giant
ceiling
woman.
of the restaurant, guys. Like, she literally was wearing this most incredible Vivienne Westwood. By the way, we need to talk as well about Vivienne Westwood because even though she passed away, guys, like the Vivienne Westwood team, the couture
I
is
love
incredible.
when it's a family affair
And,
also.
yeah, and so basically, like, yeah, no, so I really in Milan, I would say those two shows were incredible. And in Paris, there's, for me, the birth of the new age. There's the nouvelle vague. You know, we talk about nouvelle vague.
Of course.
In the 60s. What Paco Rabanne has done this season, I was like, okay, now there's a designer at the head of this house.
I love when what he did for Jean-Paul Gaultier also. And for me, when he just have his experience at Jean-Paul Gaultier for the couture show, he's just felt the freedom to maybe reinvented himself.
Yeah, I mean,
felt so the last
do
shows,
you know what I always say? And it's
looks
super
amazing.
interesting. No, but you know what is very interesting actually into what you're saying? And I invite people to look at what I'm saying right now. Look at all, and again, I'm going to be emotional because Jean-Paul is also something that really linked us because,
of course.
I mean, for me, he's
My first time being a muse. I mean, with the best. I dreamed about that when I was 12 years old.
And basically, you know, like...
and this happened to me.
No, so basically like Julien, but even like look at Julien, look at Olivier from Balmain. Every single designer that had the opportunity to do a collection for Jean-Paul Gaultier, the season they do after this experience for their own brand is 20 times better.
Of course.
Why? Because they got the opportunity to work with the Gaultier team.
The energy.
No, but also
And
with
also
all these
the talent.
with all these talented people, with all these seamstress, with all these people with this incredible technique. And you know, I think, you know, from your perspective of work and from what I do, I think this is what we're trying to convey to people is to go back into educating yourself, go back into understanding what this business works. It's not only about t-shirt and logo. And really what Julien has done for Rabanne, for me, he's found his voice, and now Rabanne has become his house.
Yeah.
Before, it was kind of like, okay, well, what do? I just retake the metallic mesh or whatever. He's creating this super fresh, you know, it was super fresh.
Yeah.
And I took my friend Alice, who is also a client, and I mean, like, we pre-ordered 5 or 6 looks. And it's super interesting to me because, you know, a lot of the clients that I work with, I usually tell them, you know, you should go there, but again, I'm never pushing them. I'm not the type of stylist who would do that, but I'm rarely wrong. And I can tell you that the new wave of Paris is Julien Dossena, Nicolas Di Felice.
Hello, Nicolas. Oh my God.
Did you know that I went to fashion school with Coperni?
Oh, they're so cute.
I introduced them to each other.
They're so smart.
Do you know what the story is about? Actually, it's because Sébastien and Arnaud met at the end of at the Christmas party of Modart, and I was at Modart, and I even, you know, they do porte ouverte, open doors, and Arnaud was 1 year below me, and I made the visit of the school.
I love that.
And we started their brands together.
You already wanted to, like, you know, bring joy to people.
No, but
and make them
like,
comfortable.
and they literally fell in love in front of us. That was insane.
I love that's so cute.
Yeah.
Can we talk about Nicolas for a minute?
Yeah.
Nicolas Di Felice at Courage is just like mind blowing. I could wear Courage from the office to the clubs and to after parties, and I could wear just the same look and look fantastic, and I could wear it again and again. There was, you know, sometimes you wear a dress and you're like, I'm not gonna wear this dress anymore because it's been too visible on me, and you know, you can wear the same dress 3 times in a row and you will still feel the same. You will still feel fantastic and classy and ready to go and powerful, and this is genius to me. This is chic.
To conclude, my darling, I think it's time to do our coup de gueule.
Oh my God.
Alors, first of all, let me explain to you guys what a coup de gueule is, because, you know, remember, we're in English. Coup de gueule, it's kind of rent in French, but it's really something like you need to spread it out to the world because what the bloody hells is going on. And I really feel like all of you guys listening to us, and by the way, really hit the comment section because feel free to give your own coup de gueule or feel free to tell us who you want us to give for you because we are your voice, we are your fighters, we are your knights.
Tell us what to do.
Exactly. No, not what to do, but what to say for you. We're here for you.
We can help you.
But my dear Raya, tell me, what's your coup de gueule of the moment?
Oh girl, it's not just the coup de gueule of the moment, but it's something that definitely I don't like. When you travel and they want you to feel fabulous and they want you to look good the day of the shoot and wake up at 6 a.m. in the morning and take a flight the day before, like 12 hours of flight or 8 hours or anything in economy, and then you end up in the shittiest hotel ever with the shittiest bed. And you cannot even sleep, and you have to wake up at 6 and go to work and look fabulous and wear like uncomfortable dresses and heels, and your back is just hurting you in pain.
That's hurting you right now?
Yeah, but that's my own bed. Actually, I need to change it. That's my own bed. My bed are worse. It's for that I'm like, when I travel, I expect the best.
No, but you're so right. I mean, the thing is it's this weird thing where you become objectified in the level that people are rushing into cutting costs and they don't think, I mean, guys, it's silly. Why would you spend so much money?
I want them to treat me like their mother. Or their sister, or their grandmother, even if they want. But I want them to treat me like family.
No, but it's also, because energy is so important. I mean, it's super interesting because when we arrive on set today, our friend Alexandre, who lives here, was talking to me about other people should hear. And, he was telling me, that's nice because you're such in a good mood. And I was like, yes, because I decide to take on myself to spread this positive energy and to give this energy to the people I work with. Because, and this is something we need to debunk. I love this expression, by the way, debunk. I need to debunk.
Can tell you love it.
I want to debunk some fashion.
Shut the fuck up.
Fashion myth. Debunk. But basically,
that's going to be the end of the podcast.
Not all fashion
Congratulations for today. Thank God. Thank you. Thank you so much.
No. Listen. I want to say what I have to say.
Yes.
And I want to say that, not all fashion people are snobbish, idiots. There's a lot of people who are very lively. They're trying to bring us down. I have to be fairly honest with you. When I started working, I started my career at the press office, and imagine me I was tiny with less expensive clothes, little cheeky red cheeks, and heels that I would find in Vincenzo's store, in the Marais, it's crazy.
Same.
And basically, I was all happy to work in press office and all smiley and stuff. The face of the people I was working with, I mean, Cookie de Salvert at the time had this fantastic team of very hardworking PRs, but also very snobbish. And basically, they didn't like that I was smiling. But you know what? I don't care because I do it for the people I work with.
It's crazy that in the time, it was beautiful to feel snobbish in fashion.
We're not in the 90s anymore, guys. Wake the hell up.
Be nice.
No, but seriously.
Go and take the sun, take holidays.
Yes! I mean, and you know what? You people working in the creative business, look at us.
Call your mother.
Well, treat her like the mother, by the way.
And cry.
This is the point.
And cry sometimes. Yeah. It's nice to cry. Feel it.
Just be a human. Simply. That would be nice to start with. But, I mean, thank you for that, because I think you're correcting something which is really annoying in this business. And I want to give my coup de gueule as well. And this is, sorry, and maybe I will lose some of my business for that, but who cares?
No, but there's a full team behind it. And sometimes, when you're a model, you have one or two agents that actually make sure that you're safe and good. But they have a full team that can actually, there's so much thing to do to actually bring comfort so much small thing that will bring.
But also,
comfort to someone.
the thing is, like, it's silly for them because when they think they're saving money, they're actually probably losing money because your energy is not going to be the same thing on set. And I think, it's common sense.
My energy is always good, right?
But
can I say my because I'm doing it for myself.
But Raya, can I say my good girl as well? Or am I allowed?
Well,
thank you very much. No, it's just because we're running out of time, bitch. But basically, I wanted to say maybe that's a social, like professional suicide, but guys, I love you. You can text me whenever you want. My clients know I'm available 24/7. But please stop asking me for like fresh out of the store Birkin bag. First of all, I do not work for Hermes. Secondly, that's not my business. I mean, I do shopping in Hermes for my clients, but I am not going to spend a whole day begging for a bloody handbag in a silly shop. I do personal shopping. I source fantastic gowns. I found fantastic ready-to-wear. I take you into experiences. But those people that text me out of the blue, asking me for Birkin bag, but it has to be crocodile. From the shop, crocodile, mini, delivered straight away. I mean, guys, I understand because it's super desirable and that's why you contact like a personal shopper sometimes to get rare things. But guys, you want a Birkin bag? Build a relationship with Hermes. Or maybe start asking me to buy ready-to-wear there. Yeah. And then I can talk maybe at some point to get you a bloody helling bag. But I'm not going to get it only for my asshole. So thank you very much.
Oh, that was a real good girl.
Just came from the heart. But you can still call me for other things, but not a Birkin bag, please. At least not the first purchase. Ooh. If you're nice and you spend $1 million with me, maybe you get it straight away because I might be able to find it. But my darling, I want to conclude because can you imagine that we've been talking for a long time?
As always, I can totally imagine.
But imagine, guys, if that's the first episode. And by the way, feel free to give us hate as well a little bit because we need to know when we're doing wrong. It's a learning process. It's a curve, like we said.
Hate us, we're gonna love you.
But what would you take from this conversation we had today?
What's the song you just did before? In repetition, there was a word that's what I remember for this conversation.
Yes, money can't buy anything. Something that money can't buy.
No, it was more a song that something.
A debunk?
A debunk. That's what I remember.
We're here to debunk.
No joke.
We're gonna debunk. With a debunker. Debunker.
I remember that I actually forget that. But when I was 12 years old, I dreamed of working for Gaultier. When I was 20, it actually happened. I dreamed about other things. I'm dreaming to be an actress and to work with people I love and to be connected with my community. And I dreamed to be more available for myself and being able to speak loud about any subject and have fun doing it. So I feel like that's what I remember from all this conversation in the first episode of this podcast. It just, I guess I needed to, open up more conversation and doing it with someone I like and it's simple like that.
I think I know, but it's simple, but it's true, and I'm so happy you're here because I know you have so much to offer to the world, and I want people to understand the full extent of your talent and of your beauty inside out. Because to me, no, it's true. Oh my God, we're gonna be emotional again.
Oh, my love.
But it's true because do you remember when we had this fucking crazy party in Ibiza?
Hey, honey, thank you for your birthday. That was the best.
Annie, by the way, Annie, my intern, she always says, shut up. She was like, Annie, from Annie's Ibiza, check the story, it's amazing. And she was like, do you know that I was Thibault's intern? That's amazing. And I love it when she says.
Of course, she loves
But anyway, thank you for your birthday party. We love it. And and I remember dancing with you. That's the first memory. And you made me feel so calm and so peaceful, and we had this conversation, and I was like, and I see the work you do, but also I see the way you stand yourself, the way you hold yourself, the way you build your career, and I'm really admirative of it, and I want you to be known and appreciated for the full extent of who you are.
Thank you, my love.
And this is the reason why I really wanted to go on this adventure with you.
Same.
Really. And I feel like, if I would take this out of this podcast is people try to go outside of the boundaries of what you know. If you're a fashion collector, if you're a fashion consumer, if you try to educate yourself a little bit further than what people are telling you it's good to wear. Like, it's great to wear Schiaparelli at the moment. Everyone wants to buy it, and we love them. Like, we go to work with them. Like, but I mean, there is a Schiaparelli of tomorrow, and maybe, when you have this capacity of being a luxury consumer on a regular basis, this is your objective. This is your responsibility as well as consumer to go shop those new designers, to support them, to try to understand their point of view, not to just go from the surface of social media and try to get the same thing everyone has, because otherwise we're going to live in such a bland world.
Live your best life.
I mean, Cher is saying believe. Look, she's saying live and believe.
Believe in yourself.
Mother.
Sister.
What's your next project coming soon? You have an exhibition you want to work on,
I'm doing an exhibition next year in Paris, in my island, and in Brazil, because I'm working with my boyfriend Edouard since 4 years on doing some archive of the queer community for my island, because since I went back 4 years ago, there's actually a lot of events and actually Pride and voguing ball, and there's a lot of things that is actually flourishing, and I want to be with them, and I want to, live the time I didn't have when I was a kid by going back there and feeling close to my culture. And so we decided, because there is no archive of queer people in my island, and I feel that's crazy, and we found some archive pictures of drag queen and travesti from the 70s and 80s at the beach, fully dragged up, and I'm so happy to find all those archives to remember to those kids that they are not alone, and they've never been alone, because we always been existed, and even in a tiny place like the island where I come from, we've been there, and we will be part of the history forever. So you don't need to feel alone, because we are together. And look at me.
Oh my God, it's so beautiful. And I mean, and it's it's important because, but it's good because you're supporting the kids, as well. Like, you're thinking about the generation, and, you're trying to have an impact, and it's a curving journey, and it's also our responsibility. I'm also going to say that to the people that are hiring interns, fashion interns right now. Why do you need to create trauma when you've been traumatized? Yeah. And this is like something as well. Like, guys, think about this. I mean, we're
just here for a lifetime, so we have to be nice or try the best.
I mean, for me, I have an event tomorrow for Santa Maria Novella. By the way, you invited, you know that.
Yes.
And I'm waiting to. Did I break you? No,
oh
I
didn't break
you.
No, I'm alive.
By the way, don't look at our nails.
No, we don't hurt each other.
They really need to shed the color.
Slow.
I've been nail raped.
It's just love.
By the way. And I'm looking forward to Couture. I mean, next time we'll talk together, Couture will have passed, and I think Couture Week is always interesting. I think for me, that's the hardest, because that's really client-oriented, so I will probably have a lot of good girl to give. But yeah, I mean, darling, I wish you the best, and I can't wait for next time.
I can wait. Let's do it now.
See you soon. The
See you
Hotcasts.
soon, my love. Here we go.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye, the Hotcasts. Enjoy.